This is the 51st year that USC has offered a degree at the university with a major in the area of theater or drama. The theater school is only 6 years old, and the school offers 3 degrees in theater: the MFA, which is the Master of Fine Arts, the BFA, the Bachelor of Fine Arts, and a BA, the Bachelor of Arts. The students in each of these programs have elected or selected a spokesperson to represent them today. And this first spokesperson is for the BA program, Michael Cornacchia. Came into the school as a bear. Yeah! Literally, as a freshman, and going out as a lion, of course.
Well, I haven't seen this many people in the Bing since we did. Wait a minute. I know when we did it. No, only John came to that and he fell asleep. But we haven't had this many people in the Bing since, since last year's graduation. No, I'm kidding. We usually get the Bing packed, especially when we have food at the open night galas after the show. I mean, I know I'm always there. It's so funny. I think it was about 5 years ago when I was a junior in high school and it was time to decide where I wanted to go to college. I mean, I had it all figured out. I was going to go to NYU and study theater in the Tisch School of Performing Arts. Well, then I thought I could go to Penn State, but who goes there? Well, NYU, that was it. That's what I wanted to do. My parents knew it, my friends knew it, even my girlfriend at the time, Maria, knew it. I mean, she sent away all this information about NYU. My girlfriend. And that's how you figure a lot of things out about yourself in college. Anyway, I had it all planned out. I was going to go to NYU, study theater, and run numbers for the plumbing store down the street. Now, I went to visit NYU about 5 times, and there just wasn't something right about it. Now, during this time, I received a postcard in the mail from USC, and it looked really interesting, so I sent away for some information, just to see what they had. A few weeks later, I got a lot of stuff in the mail from USC School of Theater. Well, USC, and I noticed that they had a School of Theater. Well, this was perfect. So I sent away for an application. I didn't even apply to NYU, and in December, I got into USC. My parents were as excited as me. In fact, my mom started to pack my things right away in December. Well, she probably wanted me to get a head start on college life. So there I was, all ready to go to the University of South Carolina. So that's what everybody back east thinks USC stands for. You know, it's really annoying. Then it dawned on me, and I never visited the school. In fact, I'd never been on the West Coast. Well, it didn't matter. I was going to study theater in California. I was on my way. I mean, who knew 9 months later I'd be standing on this stage, chained to this wall, in a fight on. Now, since then, they let me play human parts, and through the many shows and classes here at USC, we developed the family you see behind me today. Here's where being a theater major at USC differs from every other major. In these past 4 years, we have lived not only the lives of struggling college students, but also the lives of mothers, doctors, fathers, Humphrey Bogart, banditos, all women, American soldiers in Vietnam, people who survived the nuclear war in dirt, Jesus and his disciples, Professor Plum to Mrs. Peacock, gangsters, policemen, beggars, whores, the wealthy, the poor, and just about anything else you could think of. I mean, sometimes it's possible for actors to get too caught up in the character. Like during Guys and Dolls, Scott Walker Mullen, he He played Sky Masterson. He came up to me and said, "Hey, Michael, Henry, Danny, and me, and a couple of guys, we're going to go to Vegas to do some research on our characters." I said, "But Scotty, the show closed 2 weeks ago." And he said, "Oh, yeah. So you coming?" That is why, folks, there is one rule I uphold. I never, ever dress up as a woman. Now, coupled with these different lives that we have lived, comes the passion to do. And that is what this graduating class of 1997 has done these past 4 years. Do. Christine Crench and Aaron Preston organizing got funding for a fantastic production of Godspell. Sally Wagner and Barry Newport's philanthropic and stupendous cabarets, which allowed us to get a reading room and Levy Library. And to all the students who've ever taken experimentals with John Edu Blanchard, you can do anything now. Probably even open heart surgery. See, it's not easy being a theater major. In fact, it's one of the most difficult but one of the most rewarding majors out there. See, one of the last shows I did, or at least tried to do here at school, was What the Butler Saw by Joe Rogan. Now, this show is an English farce. Now, for all of you who don't know what a farce is, well, I'll give you a little piece of advice that Susan Stewart down in the costume shop says to me whenever I don't know what a word means. "Michael, for heaven's sakes, look it up and take that wig off." So the Costume Shop American Heritage Dictionary of the English language states that a farce is 1, a theatrical composition in which broad improbabilities of plot and characterizations are used for humorous effect. 2, something ludicrous. 3, to stuff a bird, for example, for roasting. I'm not sure what the third definition means, but hey, it's in writing, so it's gotta be right. I mean, I think that it is safe to assume that this notion of farce is how all of us graduating today have felt within the last month, and most definitely within the last couple of weeks. Broad improbabilities, something ludicrous, to stuff a bird. How did that get in there? Well, I tell you, I don't know if I'm coming or going. Between shows, finals, getting a car, an apartment, saying goodbye, preparing for graduation, for my family coming out, God bless them, for the future, lifting more tons of lumber and experimentals than the Egyptian slaves did in building the pyramids, not knowing which dialect I'm in, seeing Matt Schwartz's rear end, Amy Lloyd having a little accident on stage in a straitjacket and only wearing her underwear, and everybody is changing their names. I mean, is it Aaron Preston or Berglund? Brooke Allison or Kibowitz? Amy Claire Klutzel or O'Brien? And it's Elena Arco and Alana Flanagan. They are not the same person. Now, finally, after 4 years, I got this one right. It's Sorry, Wagner. Right? And the infamous Scott or Walker or Scott Walker or that guy who keeps yelling at people to move platforms. And the drum and the fact that the DJ played music that only people at the John Tracy Clinic would enjoy. The dean walking around on crutches. I mean, I know it's easier to trip and all, but come on, after 10 falls, it gets a little old. Paul Backer's changing hairstyle. John Blankenship's changing hairline. Richie Spencer's changing leather wardrobe. Ann Baker's changing my braids. Sorry, Ann. And all of this running around, and I still managed to gain 10 more pounds. I know you can't tell, but they had a special order to rope. But through all of this rigmarole, we've done it. We've made it to this point. One of the first theater classes I had here at the School of Theater was with the immortal William C. White. I remember sitting in his theater history class in Tabor Hall. It was one of the last classes of the freshman year, and he told us that learning about theater prepares you for the world because theater is based on life. And the more theater you know, the better you'll be able to go out and tackle the world. The group of theater majors you see on this stage are not only ready to go out and tackle the world, but they're ready to own it once they pay off all their student loans. Now I'm going to close with a song that I want to dedicate to my graduating class. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing it. But when you listen to it, think of the future and of all the rigmarole you're going to encounter, and how with a couple of double-headed screws, a Makita, and a half-memorized script, anything can be accomplished. Oops. Sorry, Sean, it's the wrong tape. I made a mistake. It's the other tape I gave you. Before you play it, though, I would like to quote from the last line from What the Butler Saw. I think it's an appropriate ending to this wild and crazy farce, and to prepare you for the future farces. Let us put on our clothes and face the world. Get it, Sean. And speaking of rainbows and finding them, I feel like David Copperfield, I've always wanted to do this.
Rainbows have